Hey, what is up? It is the Follow Up Media Podcast. My name is Khristian Lee. My co-host, Ryley Austin, VP of Sales.
Yes, sir.
In the flesh, doing his thing. He's about to go on a boat. Is that where the hell you're going? You're going on a boat?
On a ship.
A ship?
A cruise ship.
You're going on a ship.
Going on a ship.
Titanic. He's going,
How's not? The water's a little warmer.
he's going down like a sweet muffer. Follow Up Media is a full service production and marketing agency, basically. It's what we've evolved into in order to handle the needs of our clients on many fronts. And one of the, I guess, specialty services, and these days, some people might not specialize in it, but podcasts is one of, not our only service, but one of our big services that we provide. And, you know, branded podcasts, a lot of times, especially with the focus that we kind of aim for is, you know, brand awareness, establishing individual businesses as thought leaders in their industry, subject matter experts, and really, you know, creating content that builds an authentic connection with their audience, which basically turns into a lead generation tool. You know, over time, nothing is immediate. Now, that doesn't mean you won't have short-term benefits and ROI. But a lot of times essentially, this is a long form game from an SEO perspective, but also just in creating content that builds this thought leadership over the long run. That's what's most important.
I'll say so.
But most people, when you say podcasts these days, you know, some people still think audio, but for the most part, now podcasts have a video component to them. But what a lot of people don't see, and this is one of the specialties of Follow Up Media, is the use of podcasts for an internal purpose. Meaning, take an enterprise-sized company, right? Enterprise-sized companies have a lot of pain points. I've come to realize through consulting and learning about different large-scale businesses with teams scattered all over the world. You know, their sales meetings, there's an attendance problem because you've got teams in Serbia, you've got teams in France. Yeah. Well, headquarters is the United States.
Way different time zone.
The eastern side. And what ends up happening is you have a basically attention an audience rate of 20 to 30% maybe when you're dealing with teams like that. So one of the solutions that we do is that we can help create an internal podcast that is highly encrypted with a two-factor authentication, security level, or it could be a scaled down version where it's still considered a private platform, but only your team members can access that content. And what's really cool about that is that it really helps on multiple fronts. It could be from a sales meeting. It could be from a state of the company address. It could be used for ongoing education, HR compliance, training. I mean, think about having to go through the same routine with new hires all the time when if it's an audio and video or even audio, if it doesn't require a visual effect, well, you create it once, you update it now and then, and now you've got a series that you just plug people into.
Yeah.
And so internal podcasts have been starting to really gain some traction. And Follow Up Media, if you have any questions about this, can really help establish a plan where content would be accessed on what type of platform, depending on what your IT department requires, because some companies have a very high, with all these spam and phishing, hackers trying to get into the companies, a lot of times they try to be as, locked down as possible with who's able to access what on any, platform. So everything needs like that two-factor annoying authentication where you have to pull out your phone and have another app give you is this you?
You're right. And unlike a public podcast, you're not trying to compete against the other people. It's your own entity, your own individual podcast where you're trying to build your own because you're not like other
Well,
companies.
If you think about it, not only does it streamline communication, it streamlines. I mean, it could boost your sales department by 20 or 30%, right? And what you're also doing is you're creating a library, whatever the content is, that's accessible 24/7 to anybody that wants to consume it at their own pace, right? Not everybody can jump up from Serbia and go, oh, I got a meeting, and it's like, 1 a.m. And I think it'd be worth a shit anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to tune into your boring ass talk about
Politics.
data, politics, whatever. But also think about this. If you're the CEO of a big company like that, and you've got a team of executives that report to you, whether you're sending down negative information, whether you're cracking the whip, whether you're praising your team and the performance of your company, maybe revenue's up, shareholders are fat and happy. Well, great. But a one-dimensional email only goes so far. Just think about if they could hear and see the CEO, if they could feel how sincere he is, regardless of what he's saying. He might be saying, screw you, or he might be saying, you get a ring.
Yeah, well, you're reading his body language.
Right.
Reading the body language is a different kind of an emotion you have attached.
You talk about a way better way to rally the troops.
Yeah.
Take Odyssey, for example. Odyssey is a big media company that just like so many other media companies like iHeart, it seems like every year they're laying off hundreds of broadcast talent across radio stations in various departments. You know what kind of letter or notification they get from those assholes there that run this?
A little email or?
I don't know. It's about as vague, bland, and about as informal and like impersonal as you can get. But what if that rare person had the balls to actually come on a little video for a minute and go, listen, guys, these are my marching orders. This is what we need to do. Ratings are good, yes, but revenue is down big time. And in order to keep this company a company, I'm going to have to make some hard decisions.
Yeah.
That would show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might not hate him as much because you might go, you know what? I believe him because he's being authentic. And so the impact of internal podcasts could be huge for your organization, your nonprofit, your publicly traded company. And Follow Up Media has the expertise. We'll consult, we'll figure out what your pain points are, and we will establish a plan to help streamline these communications, your engagement, your sales education, your education process, right? We'll help HR keep the creepers away.
Yeah.
I mean, anything we can do to keep the creepers out of the workplace, right?
That's right.
Because that's a big problem. And Follow Up Media knows that. Look at this guy. He really shouldn't be here. We don't have an HR department. But that being said, and this is just us touching on, private podcasts, internal podcasts, but I would say reach out to us, 770-744-5227. You can check us out at followupmedia.com. We're available on all major podcasting platforms. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, damn, hit that subscribe button, please.
I would say so.
I think that's a wrap. It's a shorty, but it's a goodie.
Damn skipper.